Oh, hi. Give me just a minute. I'm in the middle of counting. 20, 22, 23. Give me a second. 24, 25, 26. Almost there. 27, 28. I'm in the middle of 28 series. Look at the size of it. It's like Sputnik. Welcome back to the channel, Book Dragons. I am so glad you're here with me. We're going to be taking a look at all the series that I am in the middle of today. And as you saw in the intro, I'm in the middle of 28 different series. So we are going to look at all of those series today, but I'm going to try and keep the video short. So we're going to go through them rapid fire to make sure we can get through them all. And before we do that, please make sure that you like this video if you enjoy it. Please subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you a part of the community. Join my Discord if you want to talk about all of these series and other series that you really think I should start and just add to this list and make it grow and get longer and stress me out and Okay, I'm calm. I promise I'm okay. Let's go ahead and talk about all the series that I have not finished yet. Starting with my eyes. And the first series is the Rook and Rose Trilogy by M.A. Carrick. This is made up of The Mask of Mirrors, The Liar's Knot, and the newest book, which just released in August, called The Labyrinth's Heart. And that is the only book in the series that I have not read yet. I've been buddy reading these with Angie the Bookaholic, and it's such a phenomenal series, guys. I'm really hoping to get to the final book in November. That's kind of my loose goal. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, but I'm hoping that I can finish it this year. The next series on this list is The Remembrance of Earth's Past by Cixin Liu. Most of you are probably familiar with the first book, which is The Three-Body Problem. That is the only book that I read in the series, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I eventually want to get to the other two books in the series, but I don't think it's going to happen until next year. I've already kind of planned out my reading for the remainder of the year, so I don't think that I'm going to be getting to this series again until 2024, but I'm really excited to continue with it. The next series on this list is The Expanse by James S.A. Corey. I have read the first 3 books in this 9-book saga, and I'm absolutely loving it. I've been doing a buddy read with my friend Carl over at Geek on My Sleeve, and it's just a really great series. I'm hoping to get back and maybe even finish that in 2024, but I don't think I'm going to be reading any more in the series this year. That's where I'm at with that one. The next one on this list is Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have read the first 4 books in this amazing series, and I am planning to finish the final 2 books this year. Probably in November. They're short, so I'm just going to knock them out back to back and get them done with. I'm very excited to see how the series finishes out. I don't know why I waited so long to read Earthsea, but I did. The next one on the list is the Liveship Traders series by Robin Hobb. Boy, I tell you what, guys, I am loving this series so much. And I will be reading the final book, Ship of Destiny, in October. Yes, that's right. I'm going to be reading it in October. I will be finished with the series. I've been buddy reading this one with my friend Danielle from Bookcara. So if you haven't checked out her channel, link below, as with the others I mentioned. It's such an amazing series. I enjoyed Farseer for the most part, but there were things that really bothered me. I have not had any lack of enjoyment with the Liveship Traders. It is just phenomenal. So I'm very much looking forward to finishing out that series. The The next one on this list is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. Now, I read the first 2 books in this series years ago when my kids were a lot younger, and I never finished it. My plan is to go ahead and finish it this time around, and I guess there's a new book coming out in that series, right? I can't remember the name of it, but apparently he's released a new book continuing after the original saga, so that'll be interesting. But I need to finish the other 4 books in the series first. So they're short reads, but I'm not making it a huge high priority. We'll see. We'll see when I get back to those. It'll happen eventually. The next series on the list is Mistborn Era 2 by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I have only read the first book in this series, Alloy of Law. But if it's any indication of how good the series is going to be, I am so excited because I like it a whole lot better than Mistborn Era 1. And I did enjoy Mistborn Era 1. I did. But I don't know. I just get a whole different feel and vibe from Mistborn Era 2. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I love it. So, yeah, I've got 3 more books left to go in that series. And I should probably get to it next year and maybe finish it because it's getting to the point in the Cosmere where spoilers will be abounding if I have not read those books. The next one on this list is The Great Cities Duology by N.K. Jemisin. I really, really loved The City We Became, and I've been really looking forward to reading The World We Make. So I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I probably won't get to it before the end of the year. It'll probably be next year, but I'm really looking forward to reading the second book. I really love N.K. Jemisin. She's a fantastic author, and this duology is crying out for me to finish it. The next one on this list is the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. I read the first 3 books in the Murderbot series, and I really, really enjoy them. They're great palate cleansers, really short books to read, and I am sure I'm going to love the series as I continue with it. It's just not been a high priority for me, so I'll probably read more of those books in 2024. I don't know if I'll finish the series, but I think there's 4 more books in the series so far that have been released. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it at some point. The next one on this list is The Metaframe War by Graham Radoan. This really surprised me, guys. I read the first book, A Subtle Agency, earlier this year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed it, but he's got 6 other books out in the series, and it's a self-published series, and I just really enjoyed my time with the first book, so I'm looking forward to continuing that at some point. It's not high on my priority list, but I do want to read more of the books. The next one on this list is the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski, and I just don't know about this, guys. I read the first 4 books. There were some things in the 4th book, A Time of Contempt, that really bothered me. And I may make a video about it at some point, but I just don't know now if I really want to continue the series. That seems a little weird. I know I'm already halfway through the series. There's 4 books left, so I could do it. I just don't know. That one thing in that last book that I read really kind of bugged me. So we shall see on that one. The next one on the list is the Shannara series by Terry Brooks. I have been taking forever to read this series. I kind of piecemeal it. I read a trilogy here, a trilogy there. It just hasn't been a huge priority for me, even though the Shannara series is one of my favorite series. I just have been kind of dragging my heels on getting back to it and getting more read in that world. So I read the first 3 trilogies in the order that they were written anyway. So the Sword of Shannara, the Heritage of Shannara, and the Voyage of the Juril Shannara series. I also read the prequel, which is the first King of Shannara, but I haven't read past that. So technically, on the journey I'm going on, I am now up to the High Druid series, and I do hope to start that in 2024 and see where I go from there. But I really want to see how he ends the Shannara world, so I better get cracking if I'm ever going to finish it. The First Law saga. Now, I've read the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, but I have not continued on. I haven't read the standalones. I haven't read The Age of Madness. And I haven't read Sharp Ends, because I know there's spoilers if you haven't read some of the others yet. So I will eventually get back to these. I really like Joe Abercrombie. I really enjoyed the First Law trilogy. This series just isn't a high priority for me, but it's something I want to get back to and read eventually. And the nice thing about the next books in the series is they are standalones, so I can easily crank through one and be like, okay, that was good, and wait for the next one, till I'm ready to read another one. The next one on this list is the Sandman series by Neil Gaiman. I have read the entire first arc of the Sandman that was originally created by Neil Gaiman. There is a whole new series called Sandman Universe that I have not read yet. Some of it is the Sandman, some of it's other characters in that world, such as Lucifer and John Constantine and a few others. So there's a whole other series that fits into the Sandman world that Neil Gaiman is the chief editor on, but he's kind of turned the writing over to other newer writers and letting them exercise their creative juices, which I think is really cool. But I've not read them yet. I have a couple of them that people have been nice enough to gift me, but I've not read them yet. So one of these days, I will get to it. It's not a high priority for me, but it's something I want to get back to. The next one on this list is Dune. Guys, I have been taking way too long to read the Dune books. I've only read the first two. I read Dune twice, and then I've read Dune Messiah, but I have not continued the 6-book saga that Frank Herbert wrote. I am going to be remedying that. My plan is, hopefully next year, to finish the original 6 books of the Dune saga. I don't know if I'll continue on with the expanded Dune universe. I might or I might not. We'll see. But at least I'll be able to say that I read the original 6 books. So that will be a huge sense of accomplishment for me. The next series on this list is the Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson. You guys have heard me talk about this before. I do think it's overhyped, but I do want to get back and finish the series eventually. I just don't know when that will be. I might get to a book or two next year. Who knows? Maybe. We'll see. The next series on this list is the Hyperion Cantos. Now, I have read Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. I have not read the Endymion books yet. So this is kind of a high priority for me. I really want to read Endymion and Rise of Endymion. And I think there is a short story in one of his short story books that goes along with Hyperion. So I plan to read that as well at some point. I don't know why I have not finished it yet, but I will. The next series on this list is the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov. I don't know why I have not finished this series. I did quite enjoy the first book. It wasn't the greatest book I've ever read, but it was enjoyable. And I do want to see where the series goes. The next series on this list is the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. So I did read Shades of Magic. I think it might have been last year, and I haven't read any of the Shades of Magic this year, but I need to read the final 2 books because now she's got a whole new series of Shades of Magic books that are coming out, so I need to be caught up. I really enjoyed A Darker Shade of Magic, so I want to finish the trilogy, see how it ends, and decide if I want to continue or not. I have a feeling I will probably want to continue because I really, really like her writing style. The next series on this list is the Adan trilogy by our own Philip Chase. And it's a really great series of books, guys. I have thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 books, The Way of Adan and The Prophet of Adan. I still need to read Return to Adan. Philip was kind enough to send me an advanced reader copy of it, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to finally see how this series ends. It's an excellent read, though, so I hope to get to it soon. I don't know if it'll happen in 2023. Might go into 2024. We'll see. Okay? The next series on this list is the Manhunters series by Jesse Teller. Jesse is a self-published author. He's written tons of series in his world that's called Perilous. The Manhunters trilogy is really quite good. It's not my favorite series of all time, but it's a really great series. I read the first book, Song, back in 2022, I think it was. And then I read Hemlock in 2023, early in 2023. So I need to finish the final book, which is called Crown. And then I'll be done with that trilogy. So more to come on that one, but I'm getting close. I'm nearing the end on that one. The next series on this list is the Cinder Spires series by Jim Butcher. I absolutely loved the first book, The Aeronaut's Windlass. And now he's got a novella out called Warrior Born that I need to read. And then the second book in the series, The Olympian Affair, is coming out in 2024. So I'm really excited to finally get to continue this series. The only reason I haven't read more in the series is because it wasn't released yet. So I'm caught up as far as things go right now. But I will soon not be caught up, and I'll have to read the next books. The next one on this list is the Hannibal Lecter series by Thomas Harris. I did read the first book in this quartet, which is called Red Dragon. Absolutely loved it. Such a great book. Hannibal Lecter is such a creepy character, and he's one of my favorites. And I can't wait to read the other 3 books in the series. So I don't know how soon it will happen. It's not a huge priority for me. But if I'm in the mood for a good, solid, creepy thriller, I know I can count on Hannibal Lecter. So I'm excited to eventually get back and finish that series. The next one is the Winnowing Flame trilogy by Jen Williams. I read The Ninth Reign, I think it was last year. Yeah, I think it was back in 2022. And I just haven't gotten back to the series. I have all 3 of the books. And I really enjoyed the first one, so I want to see how it ends. Again, this is not a mega priority for me, but I am hoping that I can wrap it up eventually. And, maybe in 2024 I'll get around to it. And you never know, I might get in a mood to just finish it out and be done with it. And so I'm very excited to see where that one goes. The next series on this list is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I struggled with this one, guys, to be perfectly honest, and I know that's probably anathema to say on BookTube. You guys are probably going, what the heck, Chaz? You don't like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? And no, that's not true. I do like it. I just didn't love it. And I found myself, because I read the physical book, and I found myself with all of these sentences that I wanted to highlight, and I was just laughing out loud. Some of them were so funny and clever. I think I kind of got burned out because I was spending all of my time earmarking the quotes that I wanted to remember, and it kind of pulled me out of the story. And so I decided to forego the physical book and get it on ebook. That way on my Kindle I can highlight to my heart's desire and just continue on reading it, and I'll probably eventually finish the book, maybe in 2024. Who knows? We'll see. The next series on this list is the Prince of Nothing series by R. Scott Baker. I recently read the first book in the Prince of Nothing trilogy, and I liked it. It was quite good. It wasn't the greatest. There were definitely some things that I struggled with reading-wise. Not content, just it was kind of a chore to read, to be honest with you. But I made it through, and I enjoyed it overall enough to continue the series at some point. It's not going to be a high priority for me. I'm really glad I read the first book. I'll pick it up again at some point. Maybe next year. Who knows? But I'm not making it a priority. The next series on this list is The Band by Nicholas Ames. I absolutely loved Kings of the Wild, guys. It is one of my favorite books so far of 2023. I still need to read Bloody Rose, and he hasn't released the 3rd book in the series yet, so if I read Bloody Rose, I'll be caught up. So I'm this close, and I'm sure I will probably read Bloody Rose in 2024. And the final series on this list is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. The first book absolutely blew me away. It really did. It was one of my top reads of 2023 so far, and I just had an absolute blast reading it. Now, the second book is coming out, I think, this year. Or maybe it's next year. It might not be till first quarter of next year. But either way, I'm going to be getting my hands on that because I want to continue reading it. Absolutely want to continue reading that sucker. I just, no pun intended. Ooh, did you see that? I said sucker. Vampires. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I need to see where that story goes. So I'm technically caught up on that series, but not quite, because the second book is coming out soon. So I'm very much looking forward to reading it, and oh boy, I can't wait. So that is it, guys. I just covered 28 series that I have not finished yet. And as you can tell, I'm doing pretty good. Most of these I'm really close to finishing. I'm close to wrapping up quite a few series on this list, and others I'm not anywhere close. So, it's something to be proud of, but it's also an indication of a lot of work that I need to get done. So I really hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you read any of these series or where you're at with these series, or maybe tell me some series that you haven't finished with yet that you're looking to get to. I know for some people, 28 book series is peanuts compared to the amount of series that they're involved in. I get it. Everybody's different. But for me, to be in the middle of 28 different series is quite a bit. It feels that way anyway. So, I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you think. Share with me all the gritty details of your thoughts. And until next time, guys, make sure you are reading more books. I'll talk with you soon.